Hi, Dr. Pat Arnold coming to you from Linwood, New Jersey, Mainland Wellness and Rehab. Today we're going to finish up pillar number 7 in our 7 pillars of health. That one's going to be about stress. So remember, we talked about exercise, we talked about the importance of a healthy nervous system, we talked about water intake, half your body weight in ounces, we talked about reducing the sugar consumption in your diet, refined sugars, we talked about proper sleep, 7 to 9 hours. Talked about consuming live foods. Those are the foods you find on the outside of the grocery store that will actually spoil if you don't refrigerate them. And today we're going to talk about stress. 2 kinds of stress. Stress that is created over things that you have control over, just maybe can't make a decision about. And the other kind of stress is things that you have no control over. So with the things you have no control over, I have a real easy, simple solution for that probably simpler in theory than it is to do, but that I used to share with my kids is if you have something, you just got to take a hold of it. If it's really eating at you, just got to take a hold of it, turn it over, just drop it and let it go, because you can't really do anything about it. Just let it go. So I want to talk about emotions today. I want to talk about how emotions play into our stress, right? So we have negative emotions, which are things like anger, fear, resentment, anxiety. Those are negative emotions. Sadness, those are brain-delivered emotions. The positive emotions, the kind of counter those, are love, peace, joy, contentment, happiness. They're all heart emotions. They come from our heart. So the interesting thing I want to tell you this is the heart itself is about 1,000 times stronger electromagnetically, we can measure that, than your brain is. So if you take your heart emotions and you replace these negative emotions that we generate in our brain when you're starting to experience them and you feel them, then if you can just start thinking about something that gives you joy or happiness or something that makes you laugh, laughter is a really big, really important stress reducer, then you'll actually drive those negative emotions out of your mind. And that's really, really important. A lot of times stress comes from dwelling on things, again, things we can't really get rid of. And so I go back to my rabbit, turn it and release it technique. And one of the other things that gives us stress, there's financial issues, there's relationship issues, there's bad job issues, circumstances, all those kinds of things give us stress. There's clutter. I'll talk about clutter for a second, because there is something you can do about clutter. You may not think clutter is a big issue, but look around, because you might have clutter in your car, in your house, in your workspace. Clutter is a big one because I like to think of your brain as a computer hard drive. So when you have this clutter all around you, even though you're not consciously maybe thinking about it, you're using up RAM in your brain. It's always running in the background, so it's actually a distraction, and over time it creates stress. So I want you to do me a favor, do this little exercise. Take one small area, whether it's your bedroom or your workspace or the passenger side of your car, and declutter it. Throw stuff out if you need to. Just get it out, and you'll be surprised how much better you might feel after you do that. Another good stress reduction technique is breathing. Learning to breathe down into your diaphragm. That's really the way we were designed, and it's important as a chiropractor. That's important because your diaphragm is part of your core. If you're not breathing properly, you're going to have some lower back issues. The other thing, if you're a shallow breather, which means you're breathing just into your lungs and your shoulders are moving all the time, creating a lot of stress in your neck. So that's why when people are under stress, their shoulders go up like this and their neck gets really tight. Great for me, the chiropractor, because then you got to come in and get an adjustment, but you can control some of that yourself by learning to breathe properly. Another thing that would be really good for all of us to do is, we live in a society that's very busy. We're always connected, smartphones, computers. We're always connected, right? We can't get away. Think about how often it is that you have no thoughts going on in your brain. That's not often at all. In fact, I read something recently, I forget the numbers, it's astronomical, about how many thoughts we have in our mind throughout the day, and how many of those are actually repeat thoughts. It's even more interesting. So if you can just take some time, through meditation, prayer, whatever it might be, to just have some time with yourself, do some deep breathing exercises. This is really a great way to have to reduce stress. Take a walk, exercise, really great stress burner. I know that's one of the things I do to reduce stress. So take some of this information, put it in play, use it with the other 6 pillars, and remember, it's your future. Be there healthy. Thanks. We'll see you next time.